Hello, Anna and Noah. Lisa McCord here for my famous casserole recipe and demonstration. First of all, Anna, what you want to do is pick out ground beef. And as you notice on it, there is lean and fat. When I will get beef for this particular recipe, I get 80-20, which means it's 80% lean, 20% fat. So you don't have as much grease. Also, you want half an onion. And I know, Anna, you may not like onion, but it really does flavor the recipe, so use your half an onion. Other ingredients, in order of putting them in. Soup. I usually use cream of mushroom, but I know Anna doesn't like it, so cream of celery, chicken noodle, mixed vegetables, corn, and peas. The last thing you will put in it, or on top of it, are your biscuits. So let's get started. We're going to turn the oven on to medium. And if you don't like a lot of beef in it, you can always use half and use it for another recipe. But I like beef in it. Crumble it up so it cooks better. And need a paper towel. Gotta go over your wall.
That's not a biggie, we'll edit that.
Okay, I got the wrong eye. All right, and if you're dyslexic and you turn on the wrong eye like I did, guess what you do? Turn on the right one. All right, you put your ground beef in the pot. You put your half an onion. Sometimes I'll use a whole onion, just depends. Use a Vidalia, so it really does sweeten up, and it is very good.
Okay, take a break there.
Okay, I'm on.
Okay, you're recording.
All right, browning the ground beef with the onion. In the meantime, I've turned the oven on to 350. So turn your oven on to 350 because you're going to put all of this in the oven once we combine it all. And let me show you this. You're going to stop a minute, Walter. I'll get it.
Okay.
This will be the dish we'll bake it in. And the reason I use that dish, so it has more surface area on the top for biscuits. So I'm going to just stand here and brown this, and when it gets brown, I'll come back to you.
1, 2, 3, go.
Anna, if you'll notice that I'm using a rubber spatula, you can either use rubber or wooden because you do not want to tear up the surface of your pan. It's a non-stick pan, so don't use metal on the surface. And see, the meat is, this recipe literally probably doesn't take a half an hour to make. The hardest part is in the oven, because that just takes time to bake your biscuits. And what I would like you to do, Anna, is make it before you leave there and film it for me so I can see how y'all work together and how it turned out for you. And again, if you don't like the onion, you don't have to use it, but I think it makes a difference in the recipe. And as you can see, the hamburger meat doesn't have a lot of fat. If you use a different consistency of other than 80-20, you have more grease in your pan. I don't like grease in my meat. Make sure you always cook your ground beef thoroughly through because you can get E. coli from it, so it needs to be well done. And we're almost there. See the pink still in it. How long has this been cooking? 5 minutes?
At the most.
That's my oven preheated. cook right there a minute. You can shut it off, Walter, and let it cook a minute till we're ready.
Go.
All right, we are there, I think, and it smells really good because of the onions. So now we're going to turn this down to about a lowish. Now, start adding the ingredients. I usually do the creamy soups first. This is cream of celery. Like I said, I usually use mushroom soup, but I didn't today because someone we know doesn't like mushrooms. Okay, then you open your chicken noodle soup, which it flows out pretty easy. Then you put your, I got cream style corn. You can use whole kernel if you want to. I've used both. Mixed vegetables. And green peas. Always drain your vegetables, otherwise your stuff gets too watery. Alrighty. Now, we just give this a good stir. Let it all get mixed together. And if you notice, I have the salt and pepper out. I like to salt and pepper things up. And a little salt, because when you get it, you can salt your own stuff. Now, I'm going to let that do this a minute. I'm going to show you how to do the biscuits. Again, I use grands, because I couldn't find the normal size ones. Now, what you'll do is put your leftover biscuits on a cookie sheet and cook them separately so you can put casserole over that. All right, now what I do is, if you don't make them smaller, they won't cook on top of your casserole and they get doughy. So these are layered grands. So separate the layers. And this one's going to be hard to separate, so I'm just going to smush him out to make him thin. You're going to do enough of the biscuits so when you put it in your pan, they're all across the top.
Pause for a second. Go.
All right. I think this is all heated up. And here comes your brother down the driveway, so he's going to walk in. Put it in the cookie, in the Pyrex dish. Pour it in. It makes a lot, but this is fabulous leftover. The only thing you don't want left over are the biscuits on top because they're soggy. All right, mush it down. My biscuits are here that I separated.
You better hurry up.
You set them on top like this. You got it. So you just cover the whole thing with biscuits. Then you pop it in the oven for 20 minutes, and I'll be back in 20 minutes to show you what it looks like. Okay.
Okay.
Tell me when you're on.
On.
All right. Actually, Anna, I turned it up to 425. It cooked a little bit longer. You want to make sure when you take it out of your oven that your biscuits are are looking just like that. Yum. Uh-oh. That's what you don't want to do, is touch the glove to the upper part of the oven and catch your thumb on fire. Okay, what I'm going to do for your father, to plate it, I take one of the other biscuits that I got out, separate into 3 pieces, get yourself some of this, listen to it sizzle. Yeah. Okay. Pepper. And bon appetit.